right, so this lighting is unforgiving. Well, hey, I am finally deciding to do this, what I like to call Correctorial. People that know me clearly know that I have, you know, a passion for makeup. I love to do makeup. I love to really just like have it as a nice stress relief sometimes. And it's just been really nice to not wear makeup lately. What I can say is I do hope you all and your families, whoever is watching this, is safe and protected. But yeah, so before we get started, I did do the Instagram poll and people were asking for bold. So I'm going to go bold today with this look. It feels so like funny saying this. But what I did just now, like before I started this, and as you can see, my lovely gray hairs are popping right now. I guess this is 30 for me. Haven't dyed my hair in a while. Yeah, anyway, so back to with the makeup, what I'm planning to do in this look, and I know this video is going to be long. Definitely feel free to like skip around, do whatever you want. If you want to see certain parts, whatever. I do plan to hopefully do like another look that's like a little more neutral, but like this is the one that I wanted to kind of focus on with the bold because a lot of people had decided that that's the look they were looking for. So yeah, I just kind of like prepped my skin, jade rolled a little bit to try to depuff. I do have like a natural redness and little blotches kind of throughout my face. So what I really like to do oftentimes is to just start out with like a prepping spray and then color correcting. I, again, am not a professional in any way. This is literally just for fun and something for me to do to like kind of uplift the spirits in this time. So I'll just like how I'll go through kind of, I'll show you some of the products that I'm using, my setup, and before I use them. Most, like I said, the prep I did is I exfoliated my face. I did an eye cream, a serum, vitamin C serum, and a vitamin C lotion that really kind of brings out the brightness. And that's what's really nice underneath your makeup. You know, I'm sure you've heard like a lot of this before, but I'm just telling you like what works for me. Again, this is not for every person. Every person's skin is different. This is just like what works for me and how I do, you know, my makeup. So first off, I'm gonna just go in here and pull out, I have like a full makeup drawer. This is my favorite. It is the Urban Decay, I don't even know, Quick Fix. Yeah, what I do, you just shake it up. You want to give a good spray kind of all over because we're really, you know, I have this on, but you really do your makeup even all the way to your neck. Like, I mean, some people, they may say whatever, that's too much, but like what's too much is when people cut it off here and the entire neck is not covered. But that's just me personally. Anybody can do it the way that they feel is best. So I've shaken it up enough. You go in. I do kind of a cross spray motion just to get all the areas. And it smells so good. Just kind of fan it out. It literally smells like a tropical island. Like, a couple of things too just that I keep on hand is I always have little Q-tips, a little, you know, cloth to make sure that anything you need to wipe away or do, you have it on hand. Let me also just show you some of the things that I'm using. Okay, so this is really just like my setup. I know this is hilarious. I have a large kind of beauty mirror as well as another close-up mirror next to me. The reason I have this, and shout out to my friend Lauren who got it for me, is because number one, it's increased lighting, and number two, which is always a good thing when you're doing your makeup, this is just an opportunity, as you see, to get a little closer when you need to do some of the fine details, and having a mirror from here really is not going to get you, you know, that close to seeing the precision of certain types of, you know, eyeshadow and makeup that you want to look at up close and make sure that it looks good. So yeah, this mirror is amazing. I always have these pre-wash before I start my makeup. It's always important to, keep these super clean, just because, especially in the time of now, but just because they can really gather dirt and bacteria. So I have just pre-washed both of these beauty sponges. They're damp right now. You want like this kind of spongy consistency when you're using them. The palettes that I'm using today are the Soft Glam from Anastasia and the Tartelette from Tartelette Toasted from Tarte. Again, you do not need these palettes. I'm really just showing you like what I'm using. And this is hard with one hand to open. This is really just like, yeah, pretty gross inside, but this is like a very basic, like you know, a lot of people should have these colors if you're looking for bold, you know, like the black, the dark reds, the browns. You know, I really think this can be kind of universal bold look that you can, you know, find in whatever products you have. So there's that. And then with the Tartelette, what I love, as you can see, the one I've used the most is the kind of sunrise shade, which is a very like buildable shade, and works really nice as like a base shade, which you'll see. Obviously I'll explain further, but just in essence, these are the two that I will be using for the eyes today. This is just like a blush palette, which I'll go through later, contour palette, which again I'll go through, and then in the back of this is the highlighter kit, which again, all pretty standard that you can use from other products. It doesn't have to be these ones in particular. So again, my beauty blenders that are already cleaned and pre-moistened, they need to be wet. I know that one of my good friends was like trying to do her makeup and it was dry, and that's just not going to give you a all right, so we're back here. I'm going to finally get started on the look, and like I said, please fast forward, like I'm literally just rambling. All right, as you can see, I already have on the dark circle correcting color on my face. We want to put that anywhere that needs to be brightened. Second, this one is a CVS brand redness color correcting. So I will put that in the areas that are, for me, red. So you just pat that on all over any areas that you see redness. And again, this will not come through on your makeup. This will just be a nice way to have a clear complexion prior to putting the foundation on. This is a step I never forget because it helps even out your skin tone and give you just that nice base for the makeup. If you ever need to add more, you just throw a little bit more on there. You can see the green is already doing its magic to help hide some of my redness. So there's that. Next, I'm going to be using my foundations. I use a mix of foundations because number one, I purchased this when my face was a little lighter and it would just look a little crazy if I just use this. Secondarily, this is a more golden tone. They're both pretty high-end foundations. Definitely don't need these. It's whatever works for you. These are my mixtures that I found works the best for me. Traditionally, I put a face oil on my beauty blender that helps just give it a little more of a glow. Right now, I don't have any of that, and there's no need for it right now in quarantine. So I will probably be ordering that when I know I'll actually be going out. So I mix both of those on the end of my beauty sponge, and after you had already color corrected, you will go right in, and that will cover up all of the color correcting you've already done. This also goes over the eyes, everywhere. Because I also color corrected on my eyes. So you will see a very clear, even skin tone, and don't miss the neck. Don't want any harsh lines. All right. Blend, blend, blend. So there you have it, and you do not see any of that color correcting. You really just now get that synchronized, clear complexion. So we will begin now with the eyes, prepping and priming the eyes for the eyeshadow, just like you have to do with your face makeup, you should do with your eyes, just to give a nice base on the eyes for the eyeshadow look. I pat my concealer. This is the Tarte Shape Tape, very famous concealer. I pat it on the end of the beauty blender that I didn't use for my foundation, and I will start to put that on the eyes. So you really just blend that out. It's okay if it kind of gets all over. This is just a nice base for the eyes to again give it that clear, clean complexion for the eyeshadow. Always a tip of mine that I find really helps the eyeshadows turn out and look beautiful. So I'm starting off with a base color. I will be using on the Tartelette palette. It's called Sunrise. As you can see, I love it. It's very like a kind of normal beige color. Feel free to use whatever you feel works best for you. This will just be a transition color that helps set really the foundation for the rest of the eyeshadows. So go in and set what you just did with the concealer. And it's okay if it's, again, all over, because you don't really see this. It's almost like a skin tone color, like I said, beigey color. Right now you're just setting what you've done already on the eyes. It also helps the eyeshadow not crease or blend. Looks like I just got some on my forehead, but that's okay. Just use your beauty blender, damp beauty blender, wipe it off. Going in with the first color, this is going to be, again, a transition shade to build up and blend out the bold look. I don't want to use the Tarte right now. I'm actually going to use the main Soft Glam palette right now. I'm going to use the shade Orange Soda. Orange Soda is kind of like a burnt orangey color, and this will give a nice transition into the rest of the depth of the other colors. So I'm taking this big Morphe huge blending brush. And again, you don't have to be so precise in this step. You're really just trying to build up the first parts of the bold look. So start on the outside, windshield wipers in, and kind of just circle that around. You'll see slight shading coming through. You won't see the entirety of the shade until you do multiple dips. Swirl it around, kick off the excess, and really get in there. That's my trick in kicking off the excess. I mean, any of the eyeshadow that may fall out and give you not the smoothest look, because it'll all be down here versus on your eye. So you really want to make sure that you're always tapping, not kicking, tapping off the excess. So go in, swirl, swirl. I like to do this original transition shade at least 2 or 3 times so that it is apparent. You want to stick more so in the middle of the eye and the crease, not into the brow bone, not so much onto the lid. So you're staying kind of right in the middle and giving it a good swirl. Windshield wiper motions. So get it on the other eye. And again, some of this people may be more precise, more anal about how they do it, but right now I'm just trying to give you this kind of quick and easy way to get this bold look. After the big fluffy brush, that was about 2 or 3 times, we're gonna go in with what looks like kind of a more tapered version of that. I found this off Amazon, clean up my brushes quickly with this little tool. It basically takes off any other color that might have been on the brush. Very nifty tool from Amazon. Then you're going to go in basically with the next shade up. You just are building on the look. This next one is called Burnt Orange. So we went from orange soda to burnt orange. This burnt orange color is a brownie kind of orangey color. So more of a tan, not dark brown. This, you're gonna stay similar into the same area, lightly get that in more the crease and the outer corners of the eye. You don't have to go as high up as before because we want to keep this more in the center or the crease of the eye to give your eye the depth. All right, another swirl, tap off the excess. It's gonna be messy, so really get in there, get those shades blended. Nothing is better personally than a blended shadow look for me. You don't really want harsh lines. You don't have to be so precise, like I said, unless that's what you're looking for. Right now I'm just, like, as you can see, almost just building on the shades. I'm gonna go in again one more time with this burnt orange color. Like I said, it's more of a tanny brown. And each time you're coming back to the eye with these colors, you're just building on these shades. All right. All right, I'm gonna go in now with the next, which is the next fluffy but even more tapered brush, as you can see from the previous. I'm going to now go in with what would be almost the darkest of the colors. I'm again ignoring the high part of the brow bone and the lid at this time. So this more tapered brush, we're gonna get in with this color called Rustic right here. And this is the deepest of the browns that we've used so far. So we've moved from a burnt orange to a brownie orange to now a full-on brown color. This, you're gonna concentrate more on the outer parts of the eye and halfway into the crease. Make sure to tap a lot of this off because you don't want that falling into this part of the face. So you're really gonna get in there kind of just, and almost you can tap these colors at this point. You don't necessarily have to just windshield wiper move it all over the eye, because you don't want it, again, flying all over, and number two, just really messing up that gradients that you've already done. So you're getting in there, kind of just patting and pushing the color into the eye. Okay. And we will go darker to get this a little more bold. I'm even gonna throw in a little black, which is a really kind of challenging color to work with when you're doing a makeup look, because it's so easy to make mistakes. And black, if you have that fall in your freshly foundation face, it could really ruin all of that work you've done before the eyeshadow. And some people actually do their eyeshadow before they even put on their foundation. I kind of sped it up. Usually when I'm using black, I may do that as well to try and avoid any fallout. As you can see, my eyes are already getting some depth, some warmth into them. So again, go back in there. I do this like for each color at least 2 to 3 times. And this could just be the starts, really tapping that in there. This could really just be the start of the look. You can go even further, build upon it. I'm just really trying to show the basics and how I formulate this look. So again, you don't have to go all the way into this part of the eye, the center part or the inner corners, because you're wanting to get more of a cat eye effect, widening and bringing out the eyes. So that's a good, you see we may have lost a little of the gradients up here. It's okay, you can always go back in with your big fluffy brush, go back to your burnt soda, or excuse me, orange soda color, and you can even get back in there and kind of blend and bring that color up. There's really no rules in makeup. It's whatever you think is best, whatever looks best for you. You know, this look may look completely different, obviously, on somebody else. This is just what is my style and how I've been doing it for so long. Lastly, for kind of the drama effect of the eye, we're going to go in just one more time with that brown, the second brown, which is the burnt orange color, and just kind of soften it up a little bit, get into the tops of the corner, or the, I'm sorry, the crease, and really kind of just soften up any harsh lines, any areas where you may have not blended the best. As I said, you can go darker, you can go more intense. I'm kind of just showing the basics. All right, so we're gonna get to the lid now. I can pull back out the Tarte palette and go back to my favorite color, which, as you see, again, the sunrise. So really get in there. Use more of, like, this is a very tapered brush, very concise, and really get in there and get on the lid and brighten that lid up again. And it may bleed into some of the coloring you've already done. That's fine, we can go back and fix that. So you're really just getting in there and brightening up that lid again. Because I'm Andrea, I'm gonna add a little gold onto the lid just to give it a little more pizzazz. You could leave it just like this and really just have that gradients, have the depth of the darker colors, And once eyeliner and everything's on, it's gonna look amazing. You know, sometimes I feel like when you're doing your eyeshadow, you're like, wait, this doesn't even really look that good until you add all of the eyeliner, mascara, everything in that sort. That's when it all comes together. Now I want to also highlight my brow bone prior to doing my eyebrows so that it really opens up the eye and gives just that kind of snatched, lifting look. So I also will again use the Sunrise because it's just such like a nice shade. This is a very tapered brush, and I'm gonna go in and just highlight the upper parts of the eye. And this also just really blends everything together. All right. I guess you can go and kind of clean up the inner corners of the eye. And never be scared to go back with just like no product on the brush and just kind of give it a quick blend of everything, just so everything looks smooth and synchronized. So now I'm going to go in on the lid with some gold, a little trick that I have. So I'm using the shade Fairy. I really coat that brush, shake it off still, and I will use a setting spray that we traditionally use at the end of the makeup look. Wherever the shadow is, you will spray, and this is a trick that will hold your shadow all day, especially like any glitter or shadow that can easily kind of fall down. As you can see, there's a little there, but we'll clean that up with a Q-tip. Still kind of tap the excess because you don't want it falling everywhere. And it also just gives you that concise kind of cut look of the lids. As you can see, it just really added a nice extra pop to this look and allows the rest of the shadow to have that gradient look while your lids stay open and clear. Lastly, I'm going to go in with the black now. No one has to add the black. This would be good enough as it is. I'm just being a little extra. Really shake and tap that excess. Get as much off of that black as you can. And you are really just staying in the outer corner here, giving it that kind of cat eye lift and look. So as you can see, it really just pulled out the eye, and you still have the gradients from the other part of what you've done. Don't go too far into the eye with the black. You don't want the eye looking smaller, you want it looking bigger. So by keeping it on the outer part of the eye and kind of flicking it up, you're going to get that cat look. And you can almost do this even without eyeliner. Mine's looking a little messy on the ends, and that's okay. With black, I know it's hard, but you can really kind of just take a Q-tip and go in there and clean up any areas that were a little too, you got carried away. So I'm gonna lastly go in one more time with that dark brown rustic shade. Twirl it. I just would like to clear up a little bit where the gold might have got a little carried away. And again, this is the tapered of the three fluffy brushes. This is the one that has almost like a point on it. So as you can see, that really just cleared up and kept the lid clear with the gold. So again, you can go back with that orange soda color. Really blend this top part so you have like a nice transition and just smooth, clear lines of the whole look. All right, to spare you some faces, I already did my eyeliner, eyebrows, and put a little bit of a color from the palette called Sienna underneath the eyes, just to kind of pull the whole bold eye look together. So what you would use is a small little brush, where did I put it? Like this, to really go in underneath the eye. You know, people think, why would you put eyeshadow there? I think it really just pulls, again, all of that cat eye, that gradients together. So you'll see it really just builds upon highlighting the top, and then you have kind of an underneath shadow, which really just gives it more of that cat eye and more of the depth. So now I'm going to go in with my concealer, pat it on here. Some people like to put it directly on the face. This is how I do it. I would traditionally put some of the oil on here to give it more of a glow, and now we're just highlighting and contouring the face. So I am finding the areas that I want bright, which is the upper parts of the cheekbones, bridge of the nose, and for me, around the mouth. So you're really just kind of pulling out those parts of the face. Not as easy when you already have your eyeliner done. I usually don't have it done already, but I wanted to, like I said, spare you some funny faces and me just mumbling on. All right, so we pulled out those parts of the face. Now to set the under eyes, I use this palette, Kat Von D. Oh, there we go. Shade of Light. As you can see, my favorite is already gone. Getting in there with a very tapered brush, big brush for the face. Again, still tap the excess, and you're patting all that area you just put product. This is just gonna set it like you did with the eyes when you first started, so that the makeup doesn't move all day. And it really gives you a very clean, minimal pore look. So you're really just setting that part under the eyes. I still do my mouth, you know, if you never want to get that like kind of sweat mustache. Tip of the nose, up here, everywhere that you just put that concealer. Now I use, I don't want to say, there's like a wet contour where you can use things like a contour stick or liquid contour. I use a matte contour or powder contour. This is, again, my version of what works for my face. Double dipping between two of these matte brown colors. That's very important. Whenever you're contouring, you don't want to use something that has little glitter specks in it or sparkles. You want to use something that's going to define the face. So I take from behind the ear, you see your natural cheekbone. You don't go too far down because then it's going to look muddy and dirty and you just brighten this up. Already you can see the defining. Yes, it's not blended and it looks crazy, but it's the start. Can't look in the camera and do it. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I do up here. I don't have a big forehead, I guess, but it just kind of pulls. It's like a 3 shape you're really focusing on. Head, the forehead, the cheekbones, and the jawline. And it just helps everything look nice and flush. Get in there. Ooh, my white hairs are popping. Hide that double chin, girl. Really just carve out the face. So you can see the brightness is pulled out. The places that you've contoured is pulled back or more snatched. Snatch, girl, snatch it up. You can go a little bit more in there if you need. Again, don't go too far down. And just kind of touch up, especially under the chin. You can go and kind of go down into the neck. All right. All right, so then we are going to get some blush on this face. I use a Tarte blush. I think I got this around like Christmas. It has like a whole bunch of blushes, but you can see my 2 faves are right here. And I basically mix them together, and I think it just gives such like a peachy pinky glow. So your highlight and contour, excuse me, your highlight's gonna go up here on the upper cheekbones, the bridge. Get back into that brown, tap off the excess. And this helps pull out where you just highlighted the bridge of your nose and gives you kind of like a nose job with makeup. And you really want this blended because you don't need like lines on your nose. It looks so not cute. So back to the blush. I mix them, always tapping the excess. And you know, you can go back, kind of give that cheekbone. It's like you're layering it. This one you can also like kind of pat into the skin because it gives it kind of that, almost like that blowout or blowout, I don't even know what it, blown makeup or whatever, the makeup that people use like at their wedding. So really kind of the apples of the cheeks. Gives you just like a nice color. Some people like put it all over their face, but this is what I like. All right, now last but not least, we're going to highlight the face. Whew. Another trick, like I did with the eyeshadow, you can go in, shake up some of your setting spray. I'm using, like I said, this palette, and I'm gonna go for more of a gold because like it's getting close to summer. And it's actually called summer, so that's weird. So get a little on there, spray it. You can also spray your face and just kind of pat this in again because you want more airbrush. That's the, you want the airbrush look. See how it really pulls out your features. Go in there on that side. I do here the Cupid's bow as well, and a little on the chin. If you're oily up here, try to avoid this area. I add a little just to pull out that part of the face. So I'll do it again once I final spray my face because to me, I feel like that is what really gives it that gorgeous dewy look. Now I'm going to throw on some lashes. I'm putting the glue. I actually just put some on, but it already dried. So while you're doing the lashes, you see, like for me, I got a nice glue that turns blue when it's ready. So just give that a moment and I'll throw those on. A lot of people ask, like, how do you do your lashes? Like, what is your process? And I'll show you. For me, I have to use the tweezers. I'm like a tweezer girl because it's just, I can't use my fingernail. Like, I'm like poking out my eye. Even though you'd think with the tweezers you'd poke out your eye, I actually just like, and especially when I have long nails on, which, girl, not right now. I just feel like this gives me a more precise way of, you know, putting them on. So again, just letting you look at the eyeshadow too. Just as I'm looking at now, it's kind of like bothering me because I feel like it's not as blended right here. You can always go back and just kind of, this eye looks a lot better. You'll see the gradients, the colors, the shading. It does look better in person. The camera's not really, I don't think, giving it like the best look. Maybe it's because it's so HD, but in person, it definitely has that bold, glam, deep colors and shading. All right, so while I'm waiting, I'm gonna do my lips. I'm again, blender girl. I'm using two basically nudie, neutral, pinky colors. First, if you want to line your lips, you can. I don't. I'm just throwing this on. I could line them and have them be more precise. That's okay. This almost gives you like that bigger, kind of like injection looking lips. I just throw it on, and a little cute trick is you take a lighter shade than this nudie color, and you go just in the center part of the lips, because it really gives it that pouty look. And then you'll see like the outer parts of the lips with that darker color. All right, so let's throw these lashes on. So these are the Lilly's lashes, my favorite. If you haven't discovered them, please check them out. They're my favorite. And they're just luxurious. Some are real mink, some are fake mink, some are, what is it? I think synthetic hair. So these are the faux mink Lilly's lashes, and they're in this shade Paris, where I wish I was right now. All right, so get these. You kind of like play with it a little bit to get the glue in more of a curve. So I'm gonna take this is how I do it. I go into the center of the lash all the way onto the lash line. And you want these as deep down onto the lash line as possible. Connect each side. You really just want to be a little patient and press. Press, press, gently press. Don't poke your eye out. Oh, definitely could have went a little in there more, but that's okay. Wow, and I'm really, wow, this is how long it's been since I've done my makeup. I literally am sitting here preaching about putting lashes on, and I just put the opposite eye on. Whoops. So get in there again, sorry, correction. Get in there with the right eye. You want it to be, obviously, as you see, the heavier part of the lash goes on the outside, the smaller on the inside here. Duh, Andrea, wow. So really get on that lash line. You just kind of, like I said, you're pushing each part. There, that's much better. So you can kind of fluff them up once you know they're securely on. Just a little area here, that's okay. And some people like, you know, this little area where it doesn't look like there's a lash, like that may bother you. You can always just throw a little black eyeliner there and it will look more filled in. Some lashes are kind of built that way where it's really just more tapered to the outside. Like it's tapered and then it flows out. So, dang. Let me get this dry here. Let's put it on a little wet. I don't advise, but it works. And just kind of stick it on. There we go. That one you don't really want to fluff up right away because you need to give it a little time to stick. I advise waiting until it's like tacky to stick it on, because otherwise they're gonna be slipping. So that's a look. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks so much for watching. I definitely hope to do another one soon.